You are now tuned into the sounds of
Big Nate Sports Talk.
It's on all the time, anytime.
Tuned in to Big Nate Sports Talk, the show that is on all the time, anytime. And now, ladies and gentlemen, your host, Nathan Snell.
And as always, thank you, Mr. Anthony Handy, for that wonderful introduction. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is your host, Nathan Snell of Big Nate Sports Talk Podcast. This is episode 441 of the podcast. We're talking Maryland women's basketball. Before we get into the video, there's a few things I want to say up front. And one last final thought. I have to apologize for something. I think was honestly, truthfully harmless in my opinion, but I want to make sure I have the air cleared because I don't need any smoke. I don't want any bad juju in my territory, respectfully. The men's Maryland basketball team, unfortunately, their run in the NCAA tournament comes to a close.
Relationship with your children.
My God.
And earlier today, I attempted to record, and that video file was corrupted. So, unfortunately, tomorrow, I'm going to go live and just break down debrief their season. Because I think also, too, I think especially with everything that's kind of happened within the last couple of days, I think it's best to just kind of just debrief and take it from there. The women play tomorrow, South Carolina, this week 16 matchup. Last time we saw them was a couple years ago. And then you have the NFL mock draft 1.0, the Elite Eight, winners of the Sweet 16 go to the Elite Eight, and then WNBA mock draft 4.0. Somewhere in there, we're going to take a little small break, and we'll still have NCAA coverage of the Maryland basketball team from mdsportsblog.com. Still have some other work for TeamNBSMedia. And that's pretty much all the other updates I have for you at this time as far as an introduction. But let's get into it. Maryland women's basketball. I'm also have some sound bites for you because throughout the tournament, even before the tournament selection Sunday, I got some sound bites, audio, and I got a video sound bite for you. I want you guys to take a listen to. But after they lost the Big Ten tournament, we all know which is now a distant thought. Maryland was given the 4th seed, and their first matchup was Norfolk State as a 13th seed. And for the first time in 2 years, we got to host a national tournament game. And I had the pleasure of covering those first 2 games. I actually got to see Diamond Johnson and the Norfolk State Spartans in person. Norfolk State, which had a great season, won 30 games, finished 14-0 in the MEAC. Coach Vickers, as I said last night in the episode with Brenda Frese, he's heading to Auburn, so I wish him all the best. Diamond Johnson, who was declared for the WNBA draft, definitely last year numbers stayed consistent from last year. Averaged 19 a game. I mean, she is she is the focal point of the offense. Kiara Wheeler, you're going to hear me say her name a couple of times. I think is definitely the second, in my opinion, the two-way wing forward, but also I think the second option in that offense. And then, their defense I thought was key. There's a reason why they won 30 games. And even though, they have the 13th fewest coming into this matchup, the 13th fewest turnovers, and allow the fewest points. Those 4 losses were against Alabama, Washington State, North Carolina, and then Green Bay. Ironically, were all tournament teams. And then one thing I knew on my article from mdsportsblog.com, one of my keys was actually Maryland getting to the free throw line, because Norfolk State is not the best getting to the free throw line. And that kind of proved it, because especially we get a little bit more into it. But something about playing at home just feels right. And obviously, this being, especially Cheyenne Sellers, the career she's had with the Maryland Terrapins, without a shadow of a doubt, I think one of the best will go down as one of the best Maryland Terrapins for sure. But also too, I felt like this game was motivation. I did feel like at some, there was a lot, not all, but there was a few, I think, that kind of, I don't want to say counted Maryland out, but kind of looked at it as last year from Iowa State upsetting us. And I think this team compared to last year's team was totally different. I do think that there was definitely some things that they learned from the Big Ten tournament that I saw. And then also too, his health, as Sailor Poffenbarger was coming off the ankle injury. She only played 9 minutes. Shy, I think has gotten better each game with the knee. It's just, and also too, like having a limited bench as well, but you still had contributions. Mira McLean had, if I remember correctly, 9 points off the bench. But I thought what was key, because Maryland won the game 82-69. I thought what was key, if you looked, the discrepancy between the first and second half. And some of it I thought was Norfolk State. It starts with Diamond Johnson. Just it's hard to guard her. They started the game off 7-0, because in the first half, Diamond Johnson had 16 points. And when I looked at the stats, she did take a majority of the shots offensively for the Spartans. And I thought it was our guard play. I also had Ali Kubek. There really wasn't anybody else that I saw that stood out offensively. I've always felt like, to me, I thought what I would have liked to have seen, because this was where Kiara Wheeler and Ali Kubek are similar in styles of play. If Ali was maybe, example, 3 inches taller, automatic cheat code, because they do the exact same thing. But I felt as though maybe if we ran the offense more through Ali, I think we took advantage of that. But as the second half, the guard play got better for sure, because I think it was their defense. I thought especially they forced us to take we got some very uncharacteristic moments, like Kayleen and Shy, for example, had 5 points combined in the first half. We were only down 2 going at half. Next thing you noticed, it just was a different feel. That third quarter, I think, is where that's where I knew the game was over for Norfolk State. And even though they were down 4 points in the fourth, I still think that what was key was our guard play. I just think playing Maryland basketball, mistake-free, and I think they made the adjustments. Now, when you look at the stats, I know, and Coach Vickers talked about this, Maryland took advantage of the free throws, getting to the line. Maryland is a bigger team on paper. If you look at how lineup-wise and everything, 25 times, only missed 2. They were 18 of 18 from the free throw line in the second half. Norfolk State took only 11 free throws, made 8 of them. Now, to an extent, I understood where Coach Rickers was coming from. However, I will I'm going to say something that Mike Tebow, former head coach for the Washington Mystics, once said a few years ago. Each officiating crew is different. Okay, now one of those officials, and then mind you, the same officiating crew did this game. What's going on, Sean Spencer? Good to see you. Not only did this game, we're also going to talk about the next game. It's one thing if it was the same. Each officiating crew is different, okay? Because this was something I knew was going to happen, unfortunately. Because some of these officials, depending on your conference, does not really prepare you. This is something Jasmine, shout out to Jasmine Brown, happy belated birthday, by the way, Jasmine, pointed out. Especially in the Big Ten, for example. Big Ten refs don't really prepare for the NCAA tournament. Okay, the MEAC, Big Ten, 2 totally different conferences. And one of the officials from this first 2 rounds is a WNBA official. And did they foul 25 times? But it's one thing if you're saying, okay, we didn't foul 25 times, but you allowed 25 free throw attempts for us, and there was no adjustments. Again, were some of those calls ticky-tack? Yes, I can agree to that. But when you're not making the adjustments to their size, they just didn't have the size. Outside of Kiara Wheeler, there was really nobody else that could match Christina and Allie. And outside of Saylor. I mean, Allie finished with 16 and 8 rebounds. I mean, to me, and that's not just that couple with the inside-outside presence. Sarah Tibiasu had 22 points. She was 6 of 8, make 6 3-pointers. And Kayleen Schmeichel, who had a great second half, finished with 21 points. And then, Shai gave us a good 12 points. So I just thought more of, when you look at the second half, Norfolk State, I think, went away from what worked. And I think the biggest thing was Maryland got to the free throw line. That has been Maryland's bread and butter, especially as a low post team at times, getting to the free throw line. And you never want to say officiating law cost you the game. I agree with that. But at the same time, there could have been better adjustments. So it is what it is. But I thought, again, we stepped up in the second half. Our starters, including our bench, Mir McLean, was the only player that did score. Saylor did play 9 minutes, but big ups to them. That's what we expected to see. And there was if you saw it on the Twitter account with the her halftime speech, I think that definitely woke them up. So for sure. Now I'm going to play you some sound bites of after the win from Coach Frese. And in this one, I have Mir, Allie, and Coach Frese. So this is an audio from Ali Kubek. So make sure I have my sound. Hold on. Yep, good. Another day. Feeling good. Congratulations on winning.
Thank you.
Today you had a decent matchup in the post, but you held your own. Just what was working for you on both sides of the ball today?
Yeah, I think defensively, just playing with my strength, I think that really strong down well. I mean, granted, the girl was amazing in the post, but I think I just tried to bump her a little bit and just try to be strong in the post and also help my defense. I mean, my teammates on defense, like backdoors and stuff like that. And offensively, I think my teammates did a great job of just finding me in the low post, and then I think I did really well finishing around the rim. So honestly, just me going up and getting fouls or getting offensive rebounds just really helped us in the first half.
So,
Yeah.
and then, in the first half, we couldn't really find our stride offensively. What was the message coming out of halftime?
Yeah, I think a couple of my teammates, this is their first NCAA tournament, so there's a little bit of nerves coming into the game. At halftime, we definitely emphasized just like a 0.5 rule of just like we have 0.5 seconds to make a decision whether you want to shoot it, pass it, score it, whatever you want to do. So I think that just us moving the ball faster made our teammates open more in the second half, and that's why I think that we, especially the third quarter, we really pulled ahead.
And then obviously, you have NCAA experience, so especially last year, and still kind of you found that rhythm. Just what gets you going when it comes to moments like this?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I don't know. I think sometimes I just like thrive under the pressure. I think the NCAA tournament is actually really fun. I think some people think that's a bit nerve-wracking, but for me, it's like win or go home. So really, you just have to give every ounce of energy you have in every single game because you never know if you're going to win or not.
And then obviously, 2 weeks between Big Ten tournament and today. Just what did you do to not only mentally prepare, but physically?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I definitely got on the ice pad, did normal techs frequently, just to get my legs back under me. And then mentally, I think they took a tough loss to Michigan, so I think that just bouncing back from that game really helped us there.
And then obviously, quick turnaround Monday, come back here, face an Alabama team. I believe it's beautiful. Just how do you prepare?
Yeah, I mean, it always starts with defense. So tomorrow we're going to come in and watch film and just scout them a little bit, and then just playing Maryland basketball, playing defense, rebounding, and pushing in transition.
I appreciate you.
Thank you.
I would like to also really quick apologize. So after the game, so each team in the NCAA tournament, they have a 30-minute window where you can go into in the open locker room with the players. So because the players, each team is supposed to have a 10-minute cooling down period after the game, and then depending on for Maryland, Brenda went first along with. Brenda went first, and then Norfolk State went first in the media room. But then each team has 30 minutes in their own locker room, and then after 30 minutes, that's it. You go and ask questions. So I apologize for the noise in the background. Then the next person I talked to was Mir. Where's that one? Here we go. Congratulations on the win.
Thank
You played a big role defensively off the bench today. Just talk about just what was working for you on both sides of the ball this season.
I just feel like it was nothing different than what we've been practicing all year, really, but especially this past couple of weeks where we've been off. We've just been really focusing on trying to play together and having each other's backs when we have defensive breakdowns. So I think just coming off the bench, just adding what the starting five gave in the beginning was just easier for me because they were already giving so much on defense, so it was something that I could easily pick up with my other teammates.
Now, every time your number is called, you give no matter what 100%. Just what today, what was clicking for you?
I've been focusing on letting the game come to me, starting on the defensive side and letting my offense flow. I think especially when we have shooters on our team and people who have the hot hand, it's easier to just pass them the ball because they're hot. So that takes the pressure off of me as well. And then getting rebounds and then letting the flow just come to me, it kind of slows the game down. So just allowing that flow has helped me to be able to drive my team in the way that they need me to be.
In the first half, guard play couldn't find its stride, but in the second half, what was the message coming in for the second half?
Honestly, just to settle in. We haven't played in a little minute, 2 weeks or so. So just settling into our game plan and what we know to be true to ourselves and having each other's back and trying to just be good teammates to each other. make the extra plays and things like that, trying to just get back to being ourselves and not let the other team rattle us.
And then defensively, Norfolk State defensively, rebound the ball, not the best compared to rebound the ball offensively. And that's something you guys dominated defensively on the boards. Was that a emphasis coming into today's game?
It was definitely an emphasis. It's one of their go-to things that they do. It's something that we scouted. We've been practicing boxing out all year. Everything that we've done, we haven't really changed much based on the scouting report. We just kind of locked in on ourselves and kind of put the pressure on ourselves to be better than we showed in the first half, especially in the second.
And then obviously we have 2 weeks off from the Big Ten tournament until now. Just within that time, what did you do yourself to get prepared for this moment?
Just being more mentally prepared than physically. I think a lot of us took some time off to kind of recover physically, but for me, I kind of mentally prepared, just trying to see shots go in, focusing on my mid-range, my drives, like just kind of fine-tuning the things that I've been focusing on all year, and then also just, looking out for my teammates and being a good role model and leader on the team. I feel like that was my emphasis in what I did.
And then I know, obviously, Monday we got to be back here because Alabama team that I believe is beatable. Just I know it's less than 48 hours away, but just how do you turn around, recover from this game and then prepare for myself?
I think just taking one game at a time, making sure that we don't overlook any team. So like when we played Norfolk State, we weren't looking at Alabama. I think now that, Norfolk State's out the way, we're just going to the next thing. We've been doing it all year. We've had like one day preps before. So I think that especially with such a great team, we've been able to like lock in on film and things like that and just overly prepare each other and just being super aggressive in practice. So whoever comes our way, we know that our principles stay the same, and just being there for each other will help us with whoever comes next.
I appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, and then the next one is head coach Kayleen Smichael. Congrats on the win.
Thank you.
First NCAA tournament appearance. Just how you feeling?
I'm feeling ecstatic and I'm excited. It's a great feeling to come out and play in March for the first time, especially with this team. This team means so much to me. So, being to play in March with this team is very special.
You've always never been afraid to shine in the moment, and especially in the second half, yourself, Sarah, Shai really picked it up, especially in the third quarter. Just what was the message coming out of the locker room?
I think just play our game, and we need to play fast. We're in our best when we're in transition and pushing pace, and we're dictating our own plays, not the other team dictating us. And I feel like we let them do a little bit of that in the first half.
And then for you, I've watched since obviously since you've been here, like no matter if it's 40 minutes, 28 minutes, 30 minutes, both sides of the ball, you just always play to the whistle. Just like, where does that come from?
I think as I'm younger, I've always played with it on my shoulder. People have always doubted me, didn't think I could be here on this big stage. So I feel like playing for that, I'm playing for my family. They've supported me, put a lot of time in to training and stuff like that. So I'm playing for more than just myself.
Obviously 2 weeks between the Big Ten tournament and today. Just how did you prepare yourself mentally, emotionally for today?
Coaches told us to look at this like another game. They didn't want us to work us up. It's March, but want to get done. But it's like don't. I think let's see that over here. Just play Maryland basketball. Don't change anything when the lights come on. Just do what we've been doing all year because we've been successful that way.
I like that. And then obviously you being from New York, Long Island, a lot of people test you, but you still just keep that energy. You still just keep it like I want to say tunnel vision, but you keep it just like, okay. But you use that to motivate you. Do you feel like a couple months in today's game, did you feel like that was more motivation to just say, okay, I'm going to get the last word?
Yeah, it motivates me. New York is tricky. I played in New York. It's like, it's dog energy. If you want to bring it, I can bring it too. It's not, that's going to fuel me to get you next time.
I like it. And then obviously, between today and Monday's a quick turnaround. So how do you prepare for an Alabama team that played today, and then yourself mentally, physically recovered?
Everything's going to be tired. We've had a long season, so I think it's always going to be every possession matters, and it's about who wants it more. And I think just playing together. I think for us, we have to focus on playing together for 40 minutes.
I appreciate you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, and last but not least, head coach Brenda Frese on the win after Norfolk State. And again, I apologize for all the background noise. All right. Okay. Hey, congrats on the win. Just what in the first half, especially in the guard play, wasn't kind of struggle. Just what was it? Was it something defensively that Norfolk State was doing, or do you feel like it was just nerves and it took the second half to kind of settle?
Yeah, well, I thought to give all the credit to Norfolk State. They were prepared. They played hard. They forced a lot of turnovers. We had way too many turnovers in the first half, which, impacted the score, us being able to get shots at the basket. And I thought we had a lot of nerves. I thought we had to, use the reset at halftime to settle in and, start playing, when we can get shots at the basket and get stops on the defensive end, good things are in store for us.
Sarah and KK, especially have been,
Up, girl.
Is really got it going in the second half and didn't really look back. It kind of also to the game flipped. Do you feel like that was something? Was it the game plan changed? Was it more of a...
No, you have to have your guard play show up. I thought, once we were able, we knew between like KK and Shy, we needed to get, both of them going. I thought, KK, was able to start hitting shots for us. And again, the inside presence with Allie, I thought was huge. She gave us a phenomenal outside presence, which made us hard to guard.
For sure. And then obviously, Mir is giving you tons of energy. Doesn't matter whether it was Big Ten tournament. Doesn't even matter if it was the regular season. Just on both sides of the ball today. Just Max, what did you like from her?
Yeah, I thought she did a phenomenal job. We had her guarding Diamond. She was, really locked in on the defensive end and, made life difficult.
I know from 2 weeks, from the Big Ten tournament till now, I know that's kind of like a lull and not playing, but just how did you, from your standpoint, not only prepare from a mental perspective, but get them prepared to forget about the Big Ten tournament, but prepare for today?
Yeah. That's in the past. I think they are definitely through that. For us, it's like wanting to come out and continue to play the best basketball we can possibly play. So that's in the rear view mirror for us, and just playing the right way for us.
And then last one is rebounding, what I thought was also key, especially Norfolk State. They could rebound the ball, but not from a defensive standpoint. And by the second half, we doubled our rebounds defensively. Was that an emphasis coming into today's game?
That's who we've been all year. And, that's an area we knew we could expose them in. So wanting to get on the glass on both ends of the floor. But, that's definitely part of our identity.
I appreciate you. I'll see you on Monday.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. And as we transition into Monday's game, Alabama, which I think is still arguably game of the tournament. And then I'm not going to lie, that arguably had me on the edge of my seat. We faced the number 5 seed Alabama Crimson Tide, who defeated the 12th seed Green Bay earlier in the win Saturday before we played Norfolk State. Alabama, coming into the tournament, they won 24 regular season games. They were actually 10-7 in the SEC. They actually, non-conference wise, started off 10-0 and then lost to Cal. I think it was by 4. The same thing. In their tournament, same thing. They lost by 14. We both lost. We both played Michigan State, Norfolk State, and then lost to Texas, ironically. But the biggest person, the person that was definitely circled on everybody, everyone now knows, is Sarah Ashley Barker, the native Alabamian. She is a level 3 scorer, and the girl can do it all, man. I mean, that was arguably some of the best play that I saw from her. I know this was actually her last year as a Crimson Tide. Zay Green, I think, is also a grad. Actually, went against Green Bay. Her defense was actually key, because she's definitely, I wouldn't say as much as an oversized guard, but I think in terms of certain matchups, her size will definitely throw an offense off its hedges, if you know what I'm saying. But in the win against Green Bay, she had 22 points, had 5 assists. She can also shoot the three. But I mean, this was her 7th season. Yeah, I think it was like her 7th year. So coming into the game, Alabama can shoot the three. Same thing like Norfolk State, even though they can rebound, but rebounding was not the best for Alabama. I mean, they're not the best rebounding team. They can rebound, but that's not a strong area. And I thought Maryland did a good job exploiting that for sure. And to me, I wanted to see a little bit more from our bench. We did see that. Our guard play could carry the momentum. It did that. From the jump, I mean, I thought that was to win in double overtime. That was something, but that was definitely some madness. There was some chaotic moments for sure. But I thought the Terp fans definitely got a treat Monday, for sure. But it really, to me, the first. Well, I mean, I really said the whole game, honestly and truthfully, was competitive. But also, too, I thought, just two teams just going at it. I thought at one point the game was over where we were down 17, because where I was sitting across from the Maryland women's bench. I looked at them. I looked at the Jumbotron. I just like, yeah, it's a wrap. And then they started slowly chipping at the lead. I really thought what was key was we had a lead. We had a 10-point lead, and there was several turnovers within that lead. And some of the turnovers were sloppy backdoor cuts. And I thought Alabama's defense kind of played a part in that. But and I think and it got better as the game went on. But outside of Kayleen, Sarah, and Shai, who combined for 78 points, Ali Kubek was the only player who had a double-double throughout for both teams. Mira McLean would have had a double-double. She was 1 point short of a double-double, if I remember correctly. Ali would have had 19 and 12, 5 assists. And Mira did a good job. I mean, doesn't matter if you put her on Ashley, didn't matter if you put her on Zay. She did a lot. You asked her to do the step up to the task, and she did that. I definitely did. You see, at times the Crimson Tide definitely used ball screens and dribble handoffs, especially to get her some space, because Sarah finished with 45 points when it was all said and done. All the smoke was clear. Amari DeBerry definitely got some minutes in there for us. She did have a nice clutch block for us before she had a nice elbow jumper, which was key. But as well as Emily Fisher got a couple minutes in there. I was disappointed Ava didn't get in there, but it was an overall everybody contributed to the win for sure. Sarah played 50 minutes. There was a point where she did take a breather. I think it was either, if it wasn't on the first set of free throws, it was on that second, when Shy hit the last game-winning free throws. No, I take it back. It's when we went into double overtime. I believe that's when they sat her down, if I remember correctly, because when the score was 83-80, and I was sitting next to Xavier Wary from WMAR, I got to connect with him, chop it off a little bit at the Norfolk State game and this game. Kayleen, it's a good pass. Kayleen's on the wing. Sarah blocks it. Damn. Kayleen recovers the ball, dishes it away from her body towards Sarah. It's an open shot. Xavier looks at me, holds me like this. Sarah takes a shot, and it's in, tie game. And I'm like, I think right there is all we need. It's right there. I mean, the 4 threes, the first one came in the third quarter. She nailed one, brought us back simple. The single is we're going into the fourth quarter. And especially that was a good shot. And it's the second overtime, she hit 2 more threes to help us win the victory. But I mean, some of those were just catching threes. There was a couple dribble off the dribble creations. I mean, she is at the beginning of the year. I understand from her coming to VCU, we were all like, kind of, it was kind of a slow start, but she I would say when Bree got hurt, that's when she started picking it up. But especially since the tournament, since the Norfolk State win, and now in the Alabama win, offensively, since she's running this offense, she has been doing some amazing things. And I'm going to say it right here, but Sarah Tibiasu will be on a WNBA roster. You can book it. Guaranteed. Because somebody needs to look at her. Because I mean, her just not just shooting the ball, but finished with 6 assists, 3 steals, including the game-stealing steal to win in double overtime. I thought was great. Outside of that, I mean, really wasn't anything else that stood out that I thought was anything different. I just thought that push really was key. And I mean, as of now, I'm feeling a lot better. I mean, I couldn't hear anything out this ear for a couple of days as of Wednesday, but everybody played a significant role. Coach Curry has a good team. Last time we saw the Crimson Tide was a few years ago when Maryland beat them, and I knew this wasn't going to be an easy feat. And everybody stepped up to the plate. Did everyone look stressed? Yes. And it was a well-deserved win, and they should be proud of themselves. And I think most deservingly, they earned that win for sure. I thought we had it after the first overtime, but when when she fouled Sarah, I thought she was going to miss one of those free throws. What was funny about all three, I'm sitting there, I'm saying to myself, she's going to miss one. But what's funny, I think it was one of Brenda's sons. It was Marcus, I think it was. He's sitting behind the bench, and he runs from where he's sitting to behind where the Maryland band usually is, but right there behind the rim, he's kind of trying to strike. I thought that was funny. But yeah, to make all 3 free throws with 0.7 seconds left, that was amazing. But everybody contributed in one hell of a win.
I think that's one hell of a way to finish your career at College Park if you're Cheyenne Sellers. Same way with Christina Dulce, Mari DeBerry, and see Sarah Tibiasu for sure. They definitely gave Maryland fans a treat for sure. We even got to see a dance-off at halftime between the mascots. And Tuxedo did win, in my opinion, just for the record. So overall, everybody did what they needed to do. But I was proud of that. To overcome a 17-point deficit and win in the fashion and how they did it. That really was icing on the cake for me, because I think especially some of the things that I've heard and seen on social media about the ladies, I felt like that game kind of really silenced a lot of the critics. And context matters. Not having Bree, for the season. Shy got hurt. Sailor got hurt. And then you've had other injuries as well, even before the season even started. So as early as in the beginning of the season. So I think there's a lot of context in there that some I should say, don't understand. Now, at times, can it be frustrating to see sometimes certain shot selection, how you're defending, or certain things like that? Sure, but those things are all adjustments, and I feel like those are the things that we did. And for me, one hell of a win. Did all the right things, and proud of them. Most definitely. So let's get into the sound bites with Coach Frese, Allie, and who else was it? Yeah, I can't remember. And Sailor. I'll start with Sailor first.
Congratulations on the win.
Thank you.
Just your overall thoughts as you're now going into the Sweet 16.
I'm sorry, what'd you say?
Is it just gonna be your overall thoughts as you're now heading to the Sweet 16?
I think we're super excited. Definitely really grateful. I mean, we've worked for this since March, and I think now just being able to put it into play, we're really excited to just keep being able, keep practicing, keep playing. I think we're all super excited.
I know the last couple weeks you come off ankle injury and the win against Northwestern. Just how are you feeling this overall? From the Big Ten tournament to now, just how are you feeling overall?
I definitely feel good. I mean, I'm definitely not myself, but I think, just being able to give anything is more than nothing. So I think just trying to, focus on just what I can do. And I think, it's every day is a little bit better. Every practice I feel a little bit more back in rhythm. So just continuing to put the work in to feel better.
Going down 17 at one point, and then going in the fourth quarter, down 9. Just what is your overall thoughts? What's your mindset as you're going into the fourth quarter?
I think just, we had to get down and dictate on defense. I think, we had to get stops. They were scoring really easily, and I think we were beating ourselves. And I think, just putting an emphasis on the defense did a lot for us. And I think we just continued to get stops. We scored and we executed.
Obviously, being in Arkansas, you've seen some of the SEC, and you get to see a player like Ms. Parker tonight, 45 points. Just defensively, how did you guys plan to defend her?
I mean, Sarah's a great player. I think, she's been in the league for a while, and she's shown her dominance. And I think a player like her, you kind of just want to contain. And I think, we might not have done that tonight, but at the same time, she's a really good player. She's going to get hers. And I think at the same time, Mary did a really good job defending her and giving her, different defenses, throwing different pressure at her. And I think, she just showed how great of a player she is.
I got you. Thanks. I appreciate you.
And the next person is Allie Kubek, a.k.a. Allie Buckets, who I'm telling you, man, I just think come tournament time, it's just something. I don't know, man. She's got the Midas touch.
new nickname for you.
What?
I'll call you Alley Buckets.
Actually, Howard used to call me that. Alley Bucket.
Because double-double for you, the only double-double in the game today, double overtime. But since being in the NCAA tournament, it's just like there's something that clicks for you. It's just like what is it?
I don't know, honestly. I mean, I think it's just like the winner go home feeling. And I mean, I played with Shy for 3 years now, and knowing that she's grown through everything, and Sarah, I mean, I just love this team, and I think that I don't want to go home yet. So.
At one point we down 17 and then going into the fourth quarter. Just what was kind of the message, or what is it that said, okay, we got to lock in here. We're not going out. We're not going out like that.
I mean, I think it was still early in the game, and I think that the weapons we had with Sarah shooting the three and Shaw being able to drive, I think that we knew that we could chip away. And it starts from the defensive end. You have to get stops first, and I think that's what we did with our intensity. And we just try and hold number three to the best of our ability. I mean, she had a great game, but at the end of the day, we lean on each other, and that's what got us this win.
I've seen you on both sides of the ball, whether it's take an elbow to the face or diving on the floor, but you're always up and going ready for the next play. Just where does that mindset come from?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's always how I've been. I mean, if you get knocked down, I'm always gonna get back up. I mean, I tore both my ACLs, I tore my UCL. I think that I've been through literally every single thing in the book. And for me, a little elbow in the face is going to take me out of it. So.
And then obviously getting ready for Friday. Just overall thoughts, getting ready to go back to the Sweet 16. The last time we went, you were injured, so now you get a chance to be on the court this time. How does that feel?
I mean, I'm really excited. I mean, this is the farthest I've been in the NCAA tournament, so for me, this is my first time as well, and just being able to experience, the Sweet 16 feeling, putting your name up on that board. I mean, it's really special, especially with these girls too, who I love and as a family.
All right, I appreciate.
Again, I would like to also apologize. By the time I came in the locker room, there was like 10 minutes left, and yeah, they were definitely in celebratory mood, and rightfully so, because again, each team has 30 minutes, and the first 20 was in the press room with head coach Brenda Frese, Sarah Tibiasu, and Shai Sellers. And next, I don't know, I have the same thing. It's the same clip. And then the head coach Brenda Frese.
You brought the little kid out in me today. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Double overtime win. Overall thoughts, how you feeling right now?
Tired, but it's a good tired. I'm really, really happy, really proud of this group, especially for our seniors, but just the resiliency. It really was a game that kind of unfolded similar to our season of highs and lows and so many emotions, and to see that kind of play out tonight, but just for them to just stay resilient and stay the course, and to now be going to the Sweet 16.
When I interviewed Allie on my podcast about a year ago, she mentioned that she always looks at you as a mother. And there were moments today in the game where I saw you kind of bringing her to the sidelines and kind of coach her up and saying, this is what you could have done better. So I, make sure you do this. But for her to finish with a double-double, but just come tournament time, it's just automatic Allie.
Yeah, automatic Allie. I love it. It brings out the best of her. I mean, this is when your stars shine.
Uh-oh. It looks like I lost everybody. Chat, can you guys hear me? That's a little technical issue there. Let's try that again. Sorry about that.
It's in the rebounds. You talk about 5 assists, no.
Better, so make sure you do this. But for her to finish with a double-double, but just come tournament time, it's just automatic alley.
Yeah, automatic alley. I love it. Yeah, it brings out the best of her. I mean, this is when your stars shine, and she was huge. I mean, you look at the minutes and the impact that she had, and on top of even the points and the rebounds, you talk about 5 assists, no turnovers as a big. I mean, she was just a massive piece for us to continue on.
And then the bench, Mir tonight again, but also Mari gave you some good minutes there. Just I know at one point, where you kind of look, it was like at one point down 17, then going in the fourth quarter, just overall message just to get the girls going again.
Yeah. I mean, just staying the course, staying positive. When we're down 17, we didn't need to make it all up in one shot. It was getting stops and then being able to get scores. But, every player off the bench was huge. Every rebound, every free throw, having the ability to contribute in some sort of way.
Now you get ready for going to Birmingham. Just overall, I know that's still today's Monday. But Fridays is still a long way. Just how do you decompress from a game like today?
Well, it's really not. I mean, like you'll have tomorrow off for the girls. We'll be working, and South Carolina's had an additional day with their game being a day earlier. So it's a quick turnaround. We'll probably leave on Wednesday, play on Friday. So it's just not a lot of sleep, but we're okay with that. We're in the Sweet 16 and. Have a phenomenal staff, and we'll be busy at work.
Yes, ma'am. I appreciate you. Thank you.
Yep.
That was head coach Brenda Frese. I do apologize for the technical difficulties, ladies and gentlemen. Kind of went out there, internet went out temporarily. But that was the sound bites for the Maryland versus Alabama Norfolk State post games. I couldn't get anything with the Norfolk State and Alabama games because by the time I spoke with Maryland, their locker rooms were already closed or they were already in media. So sometimes you got to pick your poison when it comes to, and again, this was my first time doing an in-person NCAA tournament. So lessons learned. But other than that, it was fun. So, but we're going to take a little break and then we're going to get ready to talk about the rematch from a couple years ago, Maryland versus South Carolina. We'll be right back, ladies and gentlemen. And we're back. And thank you, Sean Spencer. I appreciate that. Yes, it's not actually like their locker room. I think their locker room is like in a separate part, but it's like a lounge area for them. But yes, after the game, you do have 30 minutes to go to speak to the players and the coach 30 minutes after their 10-minute cooling off period. So it was fun. Also, too, got to meet a couple people there again, like shout out to Kareem Copeland from the Washington Post, Candace Buckner from the Washington Post. Got to meet Low Saunders for the 9450. Also the Best Damn W show with Jay and Nick. Got to see her there. Also a couple other people from 9450. Daniel Ortiz, Ron Artesta's brother. Got to see him there. We got to chop it up after the game. It was fun. Brenda got to again connect with some people, and again, people I've not met in person but seen virtually or met through social media. It was weird. It was not at first. It was kind of like, wow, okay. When I saw Daniel, I was like, oh my gosh, like I had to see Daniel Test in person. But other than that, it was fun. There's other people I got to see in person, but I did not get an opportunity to speak with them. I'm sometimes that kind of how can I say it? I'm very, I don't want to say apprehensive is not the word I want to use. I'm very shy, but at the same time, I'm just kind of like, I like if it's the right moment, it's the right moment. But I just kind of feel like, you know what, I'm gonna get it next time. But other than that, it was cool. Definitely, it was fun to cover the first 2 games and still covering them. Even though they're now in Birmingham, as they're now playing South Carolina as the number 1 seed. Last time we saw them was a couple years ago, regular season, but also too in the NCAA tournament, the Elite 8. Some people said this is David versus Goliath. I just look at this as just another a matchup. I don't know why the committee does this to us. Give me somebody else, but that's okay. South Carolina, reigning NCAA champions, won 32 games, 15-1 in the SEC. Dawn Staley, she's one of the best, man. To lead your team to 3 natties, 6 Final Fours in the last 9 tournaments, 8 SEC tournaments. She's been there now going on 16 years. Yeah, she could do it all, man. And I think this team, the last time they were in the Sweet 16 was 19, and they've made 4 consecutive Final Fours, have won 2 natties out of that. So we've played, ironically, us and then Maryland, South Carolina, 8 common opponents. They're 8-2 and facing Texas 3 different times. We're 6-2 and we lost to Texas and then UCLA. South Carolina did defeat Tennessee Tech and Indiana. I think with South Carolina, their depth is something to definitely watch for sure. I think they could probably have one of the. I think they have anyone that can beat you from their starters to the bench. Joyce Edwards and Malaysia. I think anybody. They average most bench points in the country, which is almost 41, shooting over 50%. The next team, if I remember correctly, at the stats is the Duke Blue Devils, which averages over close to 32 points. I believe numbers wise, it's close like for South Carolina, almost like 345 bench points more than Duke. So I know I may have the number off by a couple, but I know it was somewhere around the 340s. But I mean, from Chloe Kitts to Raven Johnson from Tahina Paopao, I mean, at Bree Hall, there's a lot there, and you just got to pick your poison. I mean, I would say that really the only thing I would say to watch more is our perimeter defense against their 3-point shooting. South Carolina, I do think, not having the bigs last couple years, this year kind of from a 3-point standpoint, shooting under 40%, believe they're somewhere around 75, 76. But even in the SEC, they were 4th best. But we're 4th best for Maryland in the Big Ten, over 35%. So it's going to be interesting to see our perimeter defense against the 3, their 3-point offense, and then how we look shooting 3 against their defense. Rebounding is going to be key. If you looked at most of this season for the Maryland Terrapins, you read the room. When the opportunity presents yourself, you're ready. Almost definitely, I agree with that. With Maryland, if you watched majority of the season, even with the non-conference opponents, I thought we've done a good job with rebounding. Even with Norfolk State and even with Alabama, we've out-rebounded them. So that's definitely going to be one of my keys to victory. I wish I could pull a shout out to Sean Spencer from Let's Talk Football and also host a Watch Football Weekly. I don't have keys, but if I did, keys to victory. But anywho, rebounding definitely for sure. I'm going to be actually curious to see how far we go on our bench outside of with Mir, Amari, Emily, and Ava. I would definitely expect Mir to come off the bench. I would definitely expect Amari to come off the bench for sure. But also too, and even Sailor as well. Cannot forget about her because especially I think really Sailor's getting in the basketball shape because again, coming off that ankle injury against Northwestern, I talked about it in yesterday's video. There's no magic potion you can just rub or sprinkle or for any player to just recover like that. Everything takes time. Exactly, keys to victory. So I think some of us were kind of doing a bit much with the injuries. I know it was talked about today with Shy and Sailor how they were doing, and I think they're fine. If you watch the Alabama game, Shy looked good. Sailor will be fine. We just got to get her going. She'll be all right. I don't think there's any issues there. It's definitely going to be interesting to see how Ali Kubek, because this is her first time. This is as far as she's gone to Sweet 16. Because the last time she was she did not play with the group that went to the Elite Eight because she was out for the season because she tore ACL. And then obviously, so I'm happy for her that she actually gets to really experience this moment against them. And then also too, it's just limiting the fouls. I think sometimes we can hurt ourselves a little bit with the foul, getting in foul trouble in certain situations. We got to be smart with our fouls. Our guard plays are going to be key. Curious to see how Sarah, Shy, and Kayleen carry the momentum. And again, I'm going to say really, actually, I agree. I think Mir McLean is going to be an X factor for sure, because especially she has been. She's not afraid to guard the best player on an opponent on the opposing team. She did it with Diamond Johnson against Norfolk State, Sarah Lee, Ashley Barker, and I can definitely see it against South Carolina. Playing 36 minutes against Alabama and having eight points and 10 rebounds, and then 6 points, 6 rebounds and 21 minutes against Norfolk State. Definitely going to see the defensive end is going to be really, really key. So it's just going to be interesting to see how all that'll look. But I mean, we're in the Sweet 16. We've made it in the last 5 seasons. We've only gotten past there once, but that's okay. We've made it 12 times under Coach Frese, 7 times made it to the Elite Eight, if I remember that correctly. And hey, I think this has been one of my favorite seasons. I'm putting it right up there for sure. And I get it, Maryland, South Carolina, we've gone back. Last time we saw, this goes back, to 2017, 2018. We don't count, I guess, the pandemic season. And they've won the last five of the last 6 matchups. We faced them 3 times, lost by 11 in Elite Eight. And that team, we were little giants. But that team still, in my personal opinion, played with house money. Nobody even thought of Maryland even get to the Elite Eight, especially from the year before of the transfers. One infamous player that we all know that's in the WNBA, and yeah, all that fun stuff. So I think that this is different this time. I'm not going to say it's going to be a blowout. I'm not going to say all these things. I think Maryland is going to be ready. I think we're going to be motivated. We're playing with momentum. South Carolina, they're national champions for a reason. Dawn Staley's going to have her ladies prepared, and so will Brenda. Both coaches have championship pedigree, but you have players on both rosters that have NCAA tournament experience. It's who wants it more. That's what it's going to come down to. You have 40 minutes of basketball. How you go out there and how you want to
go for it, and how you want to finish or how you want to continue the season is totally up to you. And I think they'll be ready. I saw some scores. I know a couple people said at one point, I think one person picked Maryland to score almost like 50 points and get blown up by like damn near 15, 17 points. I'm like, wow, like, is Maryland, are we that bad? Like, but I could tell some people don't watch games, but that's okay. But I think it's going to be close. I'm going to say Maryland advances to the Elite Eight. I'm going to give the final score 77-72.
Guaranteed.
I feel like there's going to be a part in the game where I think there's going to be some adversity. It's going to kind of give the feels of Alabama, but I just think from the last time we've matched up with them, I think it's different this time. I don't think we should read into that much. I think we're going to be ready for them, and vice versa. I'm not sure where this. Again, that was years ago. And I get it. Abby Myers said something in the post game where it may have came off as I want to say is a bit sour, but I mean, in fairness, I mean that was tough, and again, officiating, can be inconsistent at times, but that's neither here nor there. That was then, and this is now. But I do have one clip from today's media availability. I did not have an opportunity to ask Coach Staley a question because there was at least, oh my gosh, at least a dozen people from different publications that were asking in-person questions. So I didn't even get a chance to ask the players as well, but we'll get them next time. So I just asked head coach Brenda Frese of on Alley.
Hey, coach.
And also too, when you are covering the game, they do ask you to give your name, the publication. They really emphasize that, and there was a few people that didn't do that. So that's just taking notes.
Hey, Coach. Nathan Snell, Maryland Sports Blog. Just wanted to get your thoughts on Allie. Allie, when we played South Carolina in the NCAA tournament, didn't play. And the last two tournaments, we talked about her being automatic. Just for her being in this moment, what have you kind of prepared her for and getting ready for this moment in this matchup?
Yeah, I think Allie's really excited. She had to watch that last time through the injury when we played South Carolina. So now she gets an opportunity. And, what I love about March is Allie Kubik, and she's shown that these last two seasons that, the bigger the game, the bigger the moment. She's been huge for us to be able to kind of give us that post presence when you talk about your guard play and what they've been able to do. And then to have that X factor with Allie from her range, as well as her, I think defensively, she's done some really good things for us as well. And we're going to need her with all the bigs that South Carolina has.
Okay. Thank you, Coach.
Yep. So, so that was my only question, because you really only get really one question. Independent, you may get allowed to be asked two, but I just want to be respectful of time because there was a time schedule. I think they had practice for was it 3:30, if I remember correctly. So tomorrow's the game. The game is at 5. I'm not nervous. I'm feeling actually pretty good about it. Just like Alabama, same thing. Woke up feeling great, didn't feel any nerves, and I was feeling pretty good about tomorrow for sure. But let's get into one final thought.
Thoughts were running through my mind, so I took some time to find a minute or two to organize them.
Okay, the one final thought. So the transfer portal been underway as of a couple days ago, and there's well over 900 names, right? And yesterday, Brendan Potts had sent me a text of an individual that had put their name in the portal. Name is Cody McMahon from now formerly she's did play for the Ohio State, lost to Tennessee, and she put her name in the transfer portal. So in the moment, sometimes, you hypothetically go, well, what if? So I, put out a tweet and said, hypothetically, kind of in a way of trying to like have them come here. And that got some backlash from a couple people. It was in the moment. It was a harmless tweet. Again, like I know more than like I get it. There's players that don't fit certain programs. But I mean, wherever she goes, I wish her all the best. I ended up deleting the tweet earlier today. Again, it was harmless, and yeah, I'm leaving it at that, and going to move forward and get ready for the game tomorrow. So again, it was in the moment. It was just a thought, and kind of just seeing some of the responses. Just was just like, you know what, let me delete it before the legs for any more legs spread, and it kind of gets to where it just becomes kind of, I don't want the word annoying is not what I want to say, but where it's like, all right, we're kind of dragging it, but it is what it is. I apologize. It was in the moment. Just got a little carried away. Sometimes we all get carried away with the best of our emotions. Sometimes there's no shame in dreaming. Sometimes we all want the best players on the programs, but that we all know that's not realistic. So, but what we have on this team, or what we will have in the team next year, so forth. Maryland basketball is always going to be successful, no matter what. So that's with that being said, I'm going to go to bed now because Maryland men lost this evening, but the Orioles won, and the Nationals, I believe, won as well. So, but we'll talk about that tomorrow. But until then, the women play tomorrow. Best of luck to them as they're in Birmingham for the Spokane region. Spokane for the final for the Sweet 16. Oh my gosh, I'm ready for bed. So, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, please like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you so much. Be tuned for future episodes, as I stated. And again, that the Elite Eight, that's the winners of these games go to the Elite Eight. And yeah, we'll see you then. But until then, this is your host, Nathan Snell, signing out. Thank you guys for tuning in with me this evening. It's much appreciated, and we'll see you soon. Peace. Stay up.
Thank you for tuning in to Big Nate Sports Talk. If you enjoyed that episode, be sure to like, subscribe, and share Big Nate Sports Talk. It's on all the time, anytime.
And I want to thank you. All I want to do is say thank you.